Hi, welcome to the Mind Behind the Mindset podcast. I'm your host, Sally Jasmine, and I just want to say thank you for choosing to spend the next 30 minutes or so together. I am overly grateful for your presence wherever you are on this planet. Thank you for listening or watching the podcast. If you love this podcast, you can like, comment, or subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, or iHeartRadio. You can also follow me and the podcast on Instagram and on TikTok to get more clips, more notes, more anything about me and the podcast. So let's jump into this episode. So today on the Mind Behind the Mindset podcast, we are talking about overthinking. We talked about anxiety in the previous episode. Now we're talking about overthinking, which are technically kind of linked together. They're friends, they're sisters, they're brothers, they're cousin, whatever you want to call them. Let's talk about overthinking. I'm someone who is a really big overthinker, always been and always will be. At first, I thought it was something I had to fix. I had to stop overthinking. I had to stop thinking and planning and strategize for the future and just doing everything. I was like living maybe 5 steps ahead of where I was. And I was like, where am I going with this? I was thinking about a specific outcome, and then I was like, okay, you know what? I want to get to the podium on this competition that I'm going to be thinking about 8,000 ways that this cannot happen and 8,000 ways of how this can happen, and spending all my time overthinking on things that I can't control had such a huge impact, because how am I supposed to figure it out? How am I supposed to plan this idea? How am I supposed to have it right? I can't see in the future all those possibilities, because most of the time when you're overthinking, you're thinking about something's gonna happen, and most of the time it doesn't happen that way. Like 99% of the time it doesn't happen that way. It's something else totally. And if it does happen, and you do, for example, get on that podium, maybe it's not the way you thought it was going to happen. Maybe afterwards, you didn't think about what was going to happen afterwards. But you know what you did? You lost all the time that you should have been present in the moment, finding clues, being yourself, enjoying the moment, enjoying the time. A lot of people are big overthinkers because we often stay in our head. We stay in our head. What does that outfit makes me look like? If I say this, am I gonna be judged in a certain way? If I do this, am I gonna have a label assigned to me? If I do something else, if I'm not doing this, am I a good friend? We overthink a lot because we worry about what others think of us. And that's normal. We live in a community, we live in a society where your action has an impact on someone, and it also has an impact on another person. And your action not only affects your life, might affect somebody else's. And we start overthinking every single step we are doing. And if we live in the worry that something's always gonna happen, we don't enjoy what we have at the moment. We don't enjoy the present moment. And it's such a waste of life, because overthinking can help. Overthinking can help. We'll talk about it a little bit further down the episode, but overthinking, when you're trying to think about all the ways people will judge you, how it will appear all the time, you forget about doing what you're supposed to be doing. which is being yourself. You gotta be yourself. You gotta enjoy being yourself. You gotta be proud of who you are. You can't take all the action for other people. You are not in other people's life. Hopefully you take actions that are helping you, and by helping you will help others. The same way I'm trying to help others by doing something that helps me, which is talking about subjects that have a lot of impact on my life. And I know I'm not alone dealing with this. I know I'm not alone dealing with anxiety or overthinking or confidence or self-love or whatever. I know I'm not the only one who is dealing with those issues. So I know that I need to talk about it. And hopefully by you listening to it, it might helps you feel heard or understood or anything. But that's me taking actions toward me. And every time I'm posting a video or reel or a podcast or something, I think, what are the people are going to think about it? Am I going to be said that, like, is someone going to tell me that, like, oh, look at her, she's doing her little thing, or, oh, like, you're great, let's do it. If I start letting everybody else's opinion affect me, then I'm not me. I'm who the people perceive me to be. All the time they say, and I'm probably gonna mess it up, but they say that you are who you think someone else wants you to be. Something like that. So you are who you think others want you to be. You act the way you think others want you to act. But you're not yourself. That's not something I don't want to do that. I don't want to live like that. And I want to be able to be who I want to be. And I want to be able to do it. And if you are judging me for being who I want to be, then you know what? Fine, do it. But that will not define who I am. That will not define who I am. The opinions of others should never always define who you are. You are great. You are amazing. You are alive. You are experiencing. I'm not saying you're always going to have the right answer and you're always going to take the right path. You might take the longer one. You might take a route that is a little bit more, I don't know, not the way people want you to take it, but you're still advancing somewhere in this world towards a certain goal, and that's the most important. Overthinking plays so much in who we are because that's what we've been told. At first, all the attention, when you're a kid, all the attention goes to you. The more you're growing, the more you're realizing there's other people that will have this intention, all the attention. And sometimes you're trying to get it. You want more attention, and sometimes you get undesired attention. Attention will always be there. It's not going to go. It's not going to leave out of nowhere. That's not what's going to happen. It's going to be there. But you have to find a way to navigate through it. What do you want with that attention? Do you seek it? Do you want it? Why do you want it? Why do you seek it? Or do you not want it? I used to be someone who wanted to be invisible. I just didn't want anybody to see me because I believed I didn't deserve to be seen. That was one of my core ideas of who I was. I was supposed to be invisible. So I looked so much to be invisible, and at some point I just didn't think about being visible anymore, and I realized I was going to be visible when people started giving me attention, undesired attention. And then I was like, wait, you can see me? And people were like, yeah, we can see you, we see you, we want to know more about you. And that's the moment where I was like, okay, then shoot, what am I supposed to be doing? I have to live with knowing that people look at me. And at that moment, everything happened. I just started thinking about, oh, if I dress like this, am I gonna be called a slut or a whore or something like this, or if I walk or I talk like this, it's gonna have an effect. And the more I was putting my attention towards the attention I thought people wanted to give me, I was not aligning myself. I was pushing myself further away from who I was. And I wish that to nobody. You shouldn't need to push yourself away. You should be able to be who you are. And that's the most beautiful. Sometimes I love going outside and looking at people, because I love looking at people being themselves and being their own style and being their own voice. It is so beautiful. And sometimes I want to be more like the others and being able to do it. And that's how I'm able to be who I am. It's by not caring about what other people think. And I'm saying this, I'm trying not to think, not to care about it. And the key word in here is trying. Because it doesn't work all the time. And as much as we talked about it in the episode about confidence, I'm not someone who's confident about who I am. I am not confident. I don't have this gigantic ego that's surrounding me. I don't have this big head that think that I am Miss Me, that I am this amazing goddess or whatever. I don't have this ego. But I am proud of who I am, because I fought to be here. And that's what thrives me. That's what drives me to be who I am. And when I start forgetting and I let the voices, and sometimes they're not even people saying this, it's just me thinking about someone or someone's opinion, I start overthinking all over again, and then it has an effect on my confidence, and then the cycle, the loop comes back again. That's not something I want to do. That's not something I want to be doing. And I'm working so hard to not to do that, and overthinking sometimes can help, and it helps me. I decided at some point that I was going to befriend with overthinking. Overthinking is going to be my buddy. As much as discipline is my buddy, as much as self-love is my buddy, as much as confidence is my buddy, the overthinking is going to be coming. I decided I was going to tame my overthinking. I decided that I was going to overthink about things that could help me. I now use overthinking to strategize my dreams. I think about 1,000,000,000 ways to achieve it. And at some point, I see the comments element in all my ideas, all my visions, all my path that I can take. And when I see all those recurring elements, I take action towards those elements. For example, we're gonna be talking about love. This boy crush. If my crush sees this, what's up, bud? I'm just saying. If he doesn't, what's up, bud? I'm good with that too. But there's that one guy. I was like, I know I want to talk to this guy. I want to do anything to talk to this guy. I'm trying my best. It's been a long story short, but I see myself talking to this guy at the gym. So what do? I go to the gym. Hoping I go to the gym, and the most of my entire workout, I hope he's there. But that, if I want to paint, I will have everything I need to paint. And I remember, okay, what do I need to paint? I need this, I need this. I see myself painting while having a show in the background. Then by doing that, I create the space where I can have a show in the background and I can paint. I make sure that I have everything I need. When I have those ideas, I talk it through with my friends, and I'm overthinking it. So I think with somebody else, to have another opinion, somebody I trust, somebody I know that Even if they have a possibility of actually getting something out of me doing a certain action, I still ask because I like to have another point of view, but it doesn't mean that their point of view is going to be the exact thing I am listening to. I'm going to do it my own way. But the fact that you have an outside vision, outside idea, outside perspective, it helps. It gives you another view on this problem, this dream, this objective, and that's something I cherish. Overthinking can be a superpower when you need to get yourself out of a situation. If you're in a dark spot, overthinking your way out helps a lot, because you think about 1,000 ways to get out. And sometimes in those 1,000 ways, like I said, there's elements that come back up. When those elements are there, take notes. Write it in your phone, write it on a piece of paper, write it on a napkin, wherever you are. Take notes, take a mental note of it, and come back to it. It's the same way as overthinking used to fuel my anxiety. Now, often overthinking helps me cool down my anxiety. And I can't believe that I'm saying this, because I was able to befriend my overthinking. And of course, sometimes overthinking is not helping, because everything is not black or white, everything's gray, y'all. Everything is gray. You don't truly know if something is good or truly bad. You just get with it. So sometimes overthinking doesn't help me. And I get anxious and I'm thinking about a trillion ways. And again, the key when you are overthinking is find those elements. Take notes. See if there's a pattern. Is there a pattern with your overthinking? Is there a pattern in the ways you're responding or the ideas you're having when you're overthinking? If so, write it down. See, seek, and find, and look up and see if there's something you can find. There is clues everywhere in the world. There is clues every single places. You just have to look for it. You look for the clues. Be open to receive those clues when you're overthinking. Be open to your overthinking, but don't spend time overthinking things you can't control. When I'm overthinking a solution, I want to be overthinking about the actions I can take. I can change my opinion. I can walk. I can go buy something I need. I can go talk to a person. That is something I can do. If we go back to my story with my crush, I know I can talk to him at the gym. Fine. I go to the gym. That's an action I can control. I can overthink going to the gym. Thankfully, I am disciplined and I go to the gym because my body craves to go to the gym, and I know that when I'm not feeling okay, I go to the gym. But I'm not overthinking, is he going to be there? Is he not going to be there? Should I go on this time? Should I go at this time? I just go to the gym hoping that he's going to be there, and if he's supposed to be there, then he's going to be there. But I can't overthink things that are out of my control. That is when overthinking is not your friend. Overthinking is your friend when you're overthinking plans and strategies of action you can take. Things that are out of controls are out of control. You gotta let them go. You gotta know that something's gonna happen, but you can always control how you act. And yet, sometimes you can't control how you act and how you think. And on those days, you hope that whatever action you are taking or thinking will get yourself to where you're supposed to be. And that's the best thing, is trusting. And I'm not saying, oh, you always have to be optimistic. We talked about this. You can't always be optimistic. Overthinking can't always be your friend. You can't always be positive or good or whatever, but you need to respect yourself in the entire process. You gotta honor yourself. You need to know what is your purpose towards yourself, not only to your community, to this life, to what you're supposed to be doing here, but you need to know who you are you need to know who you are. And once you figure that out, you need to take the time to think about what makes you you. And when you figure that one out, now is a time where you can start befriending your inner traumas, your little demons, turn them into little angels or supporters or cheerleaders, whatever you need them to be. Because by doing that, you become stronger. You have more power. Overthinking can be a superpower when you use it correctly, when you use it towards a certain goal, and you use it not to control a situation you don't know how to control and that you don't have any control, but to help you get out of a situation by using facts and knowledge and whatever you need, or trust or believe. Whatever fuels who you are, that's how you get through that. Overthinking can be your worst enemy by draining all your energy, your focus, your attention. If you're overthinking, something bad's gonna happen. Law of attraction, it might happen. But if you're always overthinking about solution and optimization, then that would be nice, but it's hard to always think about something. Always is not truly always. Often is good. I don't want to say settle for often. Choose often. That is good. Choose to be optimist. They say often the saddest people in the world, the one that are so sad and alone, are often the one that puts on the happy face because they choose to put it on. I'm someone who was so sad, so in pain, and I chose to never put anyone through that much pain. I chose that for myself. I'm not saying pain's not gonna happen to me and my action might be perceived in another way, but I'm choosing to take actions that will not cause pain. I'm choosing to take actions for me to be a better version of myself, a better person, a better daughter, a better friend. I wish I could say a better girlfriend, whatever. I'm just trying to be myself, and I'm overthinking 3 trillion ways to be the best version of myself. And when I see all those key elements, I put them out, I write them down, I take notes about it, and then I work towards that goal. That is the most important. Overthinking can be your worst enemy if you don't know how to use it, but you can also know how to use it if you take the time to learn about your overthinking. Our overthinking differentiates between you and me and your friends and your mother and your brother and your father and your bosses. Overthinking goes everywhere. It's different for everybody, the same as everybody's life, everybody's reality is different. So we gotta learn to tame those little things. And I befriended my overthinking, and since then, sometimes I get into a fight with this friend and start overthinking about something I'm not supposed to be overthinking. Sometimes it's just letting me know that this is something I need. You just have to believe and to trust and to be who you want to be. Take notes. Look at the cues. Look out for the cues. Accept the cues. Be open for the cues. And overthinking will be your friend. I think we talked about everything we needed to talk about overthinking at the moment. So let's stop this episode. Let's end this beautiful episode. If you loved this episode, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, TikTok, Instagram. Don't forget to give us 5-star on Spotify. That'd be nice. And thank you for supporting my dreams. Thank you for being present. Thank you for being helpful. for me because you are helping me. All the little things, every time you watch a clip, every time you support, every time you send a like or something, it helps me get to know you better and to open my heart to this community and looking at the cues. Thank you for being here with me. I hope you enjoy the present moment, and I hope to see you on another episode of the Mind Behind the Mindset podcast. I'm your host, Sally Jasmine. Enjoy the present day.